This is Rabbi Son Hot News and all of the other things. I think you know it by now. You've listened to enough episodes. So this is Rabbi Patrick sitting here with my son, Javon. Say hi, Javon.
Hi.
Yep. John, how are you doing today?
Fine.
We should have a t-shirt that just says Javon is doing fine, because he's always doing fine. That's his answer to that question. But you know what's not fine is the insanity that is AI. So has everyone been seeing these Gemini ads where basically like it's people and they're just having whole conversations with Gemini, and it's like, Gemini, what can I talk to you about? And Gemini has this, we can talk about anything, and you're like, okay, great. Like that's, this is sort of maybe a part 2 to the episode that we just recorded on like dating and relationships, because God knows these apps, as they get more and more personable, are going to replace people. So, Javon, thoughts, takes on this stuff?
No, I just feel like this AI stuff is going in the wrong direction. It should have been more about like stuff to help move industry forward rather than like, things like chatting with a bot about how are you feeling today? Like,
right.
You need to be talking to like an actual human. Like, I don't know. I just don't trust. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm like one of these anti-AI people, but like, I don't trust the people who would get themselves entangled with these AI, and then just like how they're gonna do mentally, in like the real world, because that's where we live.
Yeah.
In the real world. So like, chatting with like, this Gemini thing or any one other number, like, whatever the rest of the companies are coming up with, like, I don't know. It's just people shouldn't feel comfortable talking to a robot before they talk to other people.
It's interesting because supposedly there has been some AI that's been used, these chatbots that are being used in mental health now. And they're saying that like they've had like some sort of success almost with like getting people to open up, like particularly veterans who have PTSD and stuff like that. It is a question of like, to what degree are these good things or bad things? Because with the veterans, they're saying that it helps them to open up a little bit. But then also, like, at the same time, shouldn't a human being have that job, right? Or I was using the Oculus the other day, and apparently there's a game. It was being promoted as like an AI companion game called Soulmate. I didn't click on it. I don't want to know what a soulmate is. I'm too old for that, and I've already got a soulmate. And she's like a real human being. But like, I just decided to like search it real quick, and the Meta Store, the thing that comes up on Google, it says, embark on a captivating journey with your virtual companion. Experience rich stories and adventures as you grow closer to your soulmate. You want to embark on a captivating journey? It's called life.
Mm-hmm.
It's called becoming a parent, being someone's spouse. That is a captivating journey, and it's the only reason we're on this earth, is to do that. It is to have a captivating journey with our actual companion. Like, experience rich stories. I have experienced so many rich stories by having friendships and having a marriage that is healthy and wonderful. Like, and, being an adoptive parent, there's an adventure. Mm-hmm. Like, that's been way more captivating than this, like, I don't know, video game girl could possibly offer you. Like, and also just like, how degrading is that to women? Like, because you know who's downloading this.
But,
come on,
but let's not, because it's that younger men are having problems. It's being able to get in relationships. So like let's and with women, like let's not say women aren't immune to,
sure, without doubt.
Those people who are this more so goes into insecurity.
Yeah,
I think that's just really the root cause, and like people feeling like there's no one out there for me because I've tried, I haven't tried because no one has came to me.
Right.
And then they're going to be like, well, this thing doesn't have to I control the conversation. I can have this conversation. They can't. This AI bot can't start having a conversation.
I can make you into anyone I want you to be because I am training you. You are learning. Oh my God. Well, and in an era of DoorDash where anything can be brought to you, you're right. Like, why should I go out and seek, right? When AI and apps can give me, whatever I want. Yeah, without a doubt.
But they can't really.
They can't. There are limitations to it, but there are limitations. I don't know. So there's obviously the part about AI that I'm concerned about, which is the whole, like, how does it screw up relationships and also expectations, right? I think there was a South Park episode where Cartman fell in love with, like, Alexa because, like, Alexa would do anything that he wanted, right? But there are other things to be concerned about with AI, like low-level creative jobs have gotten kind of messed up. So I'm signed up to a lot of email lists that are, like, related to my work. And I've actually seen Jewish leaders, like, write things where I'm like, that doesn't read like you. Like, those words, that sentence structure, that I've never gotten something like that from you before. And I straight up have plugged it into AI detectors and they're using AI.
Yeah. Because what you do is all about, the good religious leaders have charisma.
Oh, thank you.
And they have, people who want to come to things and, like, have original ideas and, get people interested. And, like, if you're just like, you don't want to do that and you're just like, oh, gotta write this sermon, gotta write this, funeral.
Fundraising. Yeah. They're doing it with fundraising a lot.
Let me send this generic, thank you email. Thank you for giving me money for my blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But it's like, it's disingenuous. It takes away from, like, people are taking their time to give you money.
Right.
And, like, donate because they want to see some different things. And you're just like, oh, well, it's not like you couldn't send out the same email to everybody. Like, but, you just, oh, here, ChatGPT, write me.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
You're not even thinking about how to write. Because I write I'm mass emails. I'm emailing, thousands of people a week, right? But everything I write is actually by me. The only time I ever use AI for it is when I'm researching something and I need something smarter than Google, right? But, like, I just, the whole thing of it just frustrates me because the scary thing is I'm going to give human beings a little less credit. I think that people will try to be genuine and it won't work. And I think people will be more attracted to AI-generated fundraising emails, AI-generated sermons, and it's just going to make what I do, not me as an individual or the people I work for, but, like, it's going to make my world so much faker. And that just, oh my God, that freaks me out.
No, but that's like in this thing we were talking about, life experiences and how AI can't, like, replace those. Like, being able to maneuver different spaces is something that you have to learn. It's something that, AI can't teach you. And, like, you can't use the AI generated conversation when you're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to have to give people a reason to, want to take a chance on whatever you're doing.
Right.
And so, like, you need to be able to, be a social chameleon and, like, get into those spaces. Like, AI can't do that.
Right.
In order for people to want to stay working with you or, like, under you, you're going to need something that can't be, produced by artificial intelligence, which is the personality.
I wonder if there's going to be some kind of program, like, I don't know what it would be in. Maybe it would just be in your email, or maybe it's part of a browser that, like, as you're online, like, as you're looking at stuff, whatever, it will highlight, like, what is likely AI generated. Because I know, like, on Instagram, you have to say your thing is I think it's YouTube and Instagram. It has this thing where it's like, is this AI generated? You could lie, like, you could say it's not, but I think it would strike against you. If the algorithm figures out, like, no, this is, like, hyper real photography and, like, robot voice, like, we know this is fake. But wouldn't it be great if you could just like have a filter where anything that comes into your feed or anything that you see online, it either tells you that it's AI or it just blocks it entirely. Right. And
we'll probably get to that point.
I'm sure it'll happen soon if it hasn't happened already.
Yeah, no, I just worry about, especially when it is being built into devices.
Yeah.
And it's not like things you can download, like, because Apple's newest phone and Samsung and Google's are all coming, like their version of, AI.
Right.
So it's like you can't escape it. Is this something like you're going to have to.
The robots are taking over, like, no matter you like it or not.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like, wow, people, like, I don't think I need AI to be like, it is good for like, if I see like some shoes or some clothes that I don't know anything about. And like, those are good, like, help you find products and where they are. But like, as far as having whole conversations,
right.
Like, I just think that people don't need to be doing that. And people shouldn't trust, software companies,
right.
Technology companies to, be that intimate with you.
Right.
Because then they can use that data and use that information against you.
Right.
Per things you like, put that,
sure.
on your device. And then it's like, oh, all these nice things. Oh, I want to buy that. Oh, I like that. I want to buy that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what about a situation where you launch AI for law enforcement purposes? And it's like that movie, I forget what it was called, but it was the one where they had like the pre-crime division. And who was there? Was some Tom Cruise, I think, was in it, and basically like he's like a detective in the future as part of like pre-crime, where they're able to tell like if a crime's going to happen or not, and they arrest people in advance of the crime, and then they show them video of like this was the crime that we knew you were going to commit, and so now we've busted you. And like, will AI basically have? I mean, I'm sure it exists in cyber intelligence, but like.
Is someone asking how to build a pipe bomb?
Yeah, I mean, they already have stuff like that, but it's not even how to build a pipe bomb. It's, a person read a certain book, and then at the same time they
look at this and that website.
Right. And it all coalesces, and they're a certain demographic, and they live in a certain kind of city. Like, if you have so much data about people and there's so much correlation that it doesn't even make sense, but collectively it all comes together, what might you ignore? So maybe they aren't looking up a recipe for how to, make a bomb, but maybe it's like, if you live in Akron and you also buy chicken McNuggets and you happen to drive on this street on Thursdays and you like reading this website, but only on Tuesdays, there's a 16% increased chance that you're going to be some terrible person. Well, now you're being watched, right? And AI will be feeding that. AI will be like AI police that like say, oh, watch out for this person because, they ordered, a Frosty on, the 12th day of the month, which means technically they're 3% more likely to commit homicide. I mean, it's going to be like insane stuff like that.
I don't know. I just think that people shouldn't feel comfortable, like, because we use our phones every day.
Right.
There's like a lot of data on there, that's really not safe because it can be sold. But like, if you're having like these personal problems, it's best to have, someone who's under contract not to speak about it, to have that information.
Right.
Like, a therapist,
right.
A psychiatrist, a lawyer, and so on and, so forth, with people who are, or clergy who are like,
right.
people who you can explain your problems to. And as long as it's not like, wanting to harm someone, then it's like, you shouldn't trust people instead of like this thing, that your data can get leaked on.
Yeah.
Every conversation you have, every, word you type, everything could be laid bare, and then that could be used against you.
Yeah, this is making a golem. This is making a golden calf. It's making something that in some way serves us or represents some value system we have, but like it's a terrible one.
Yeah, like the old saying goes, everything that's glitter is not gold. I mean, people like this AI thing because it makes life easier. A lot of things make life easier.
Right.
But then it's like, just because something's easier doesn't mean it's not going to have like, unintended consequences.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing, I think, in Judaism, that in spite of all the technology we have and all of the capabilities we have a religion that says, every week you have to stop using it. And every week every month you have some kind of holiday that divests you of it in some way or another. And, there are still people who know how to do ancient calligraphy, right? Like, that's pretty incredible that, like, we still make our Torahs using calligraphy, a freaking feather and ink. The mezuzah scrolls, the mezuzot that are in all of our doorways here in the household. Those are made by a human being by hand, unless I got cheated. But there's still this sense of like, there's a handmade tradition. There is an in-person way of doing things. There's a way of passing on knowledge that isn't entirely technological in nature. So that's I think a beautiful thing. That's a good push against it. Like, allow the AI overlords to come, but like maybe at a more moderated pace and not in all areas of your life.
Yeah, because it's like ridiculous. Every new device is on this AI train when it's like, and I don't want to tell people how to parent, but it's like, kids are kids. They're like sponges.
Yeah.
Like, you do something, you say something, they want to do it and they want to follow it. Unless, they are kids that have a brain. And it's like, oh, no,
right.
I'm not going to do that thing because everybody else is doing it. But like, kids are very easily swayed to do things.
Yeah.
And like the stories about kids and AI and how that is, ended terribly.
It's terrible. Oh God.
It should not be
awful.
something that's on all these devices.
Yeah.
Like involuntarily, like, if you want to be like, oh yeah, let me activate the AI,
right, or turn it off, or whatever. Yeah, no, that's absolutely a great idea. I don't know if these phones, if it's mandatory or not.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but they're like pushing it as, oh, these new phones, they'll have it integrated in, and it'll be like, Siri or what's the other one,
right, Gemini,
and it'll be like there,
right,
like it'll be always listening,
right.
Everything, every time you search something, the AI generate, it'll skim that down. It's like, oh my gosh, you're taking away like, valuable skills. Like, what happened to research?
This is an attempt to make God, I'm convinced, because here is this entity that is non-human, that knows us better than we know ourselves, that knows all of our innermost thoughts and feelings and sees all of our actions and can judge it and provide us some sort of knowledge to help us deal with a life that it does not live.
Mm-hmm.
It truly, this is like trying to make God with ones and zeros.
I mean, it's all we can do is wait to see if it turns out great, or if it's going to be like, the Terminator, and then boom.
On that happy note, thanks for listening. Thank you to our sponsors at Darshan Yeshiva for making this content possible. Darshan Yeshiva provides beginner-level online Jewish learning, including the very popular Conversion to Judaism program, with sponsoring rabbis and students all over the world. Start your Jewish journey any place, anywhere, and anytime with our conservative, reform, reconstructionist, Jewish renewal, humanistic, and post-denominational rabbi mentors. Become the Jew you always wanted to be with Darshan Yeshiva.